On July 24th, 2014, in a quiet town where nothing ever happens, a 13-year-old girl, April Millsap, went for an evening walk with her dog on a familiar trail. But this time, she didn't come home. Before she vanished, she sent a chilling text, one that hints she knows she was being followed. And hours later, her loyal dog will lead rescuers straight to a horrifying discovery. What happened to April Millsap? April Millsap was around 14 years old around the time that she passed away. She was born in the year 2000 and lived in a small town in Michigan called Armada. The town is so small that nothing ever really happens. It's one of those small towns where people say, I feel comfortable leaving my door unlocked because I trust my neighbors.
I hate that.
One of those towns that just everyone knows each other. So it was so small that before April Millsap, nothing had happened for about 50 years before April.
No crime at all?
Like no insane crime. April had 2 dogs. She had a dog named Penny, which was her best friend, and another dog. She also had 2 cats. April also was very into fitness. She loved to go walking, hiking. It was her thing. It helped her stay fit. So because she loved fitness so much, her boyfriend that she had been dating for about a year, for Christmas, he had bought her a fitness app to help her track, okay, like how many calories are you burning? How many steps are you taking? How long are you walking? What distances are you walking? So he bought her an app like that, and she used it every day. So especially on the day that she passed away, she was using the app because she went on a hike. So around 5 p.m., July 24th, April goes, on a little walk to a very known trail in Armada, Michigan, the McCombs Trail. She goes on with her dog Penny and brings Penny some food, some water. You don't want your dog to be hungry or thirsty while you go on a walk. You want to be fair. She probably leaves maybe like 5:30, like early evening. She goes on a walk. The walk, it was probably estimated to be about an hour and a half from her house to the trail and back. An hour and a half passes by and her mom starts to get worried. She's like, wait, hold on. Like, you're not home yet. You're usually home at this time. But she kind of brushes it off a little bit because April does this teenager thing where she goes and hangs out with her boyfriend while being on hikes and going on trails and things like that, even while walking her dogs. So her mom brushes it off for a little bit more. Maybe, I don't know, probably gave it another 15, 20 minutes. Try to be fair. But afterwards, she kind of got worried because she was like, okay, well, the Penny is with April and Penny's probably thirsty and hungry or probably tired of walking, just wants to come home and lay down. So April's mom texts her and she's like, hey, can you come home and bring Penny home? She's probably tired, but she never received an answer. So she was a little confused as to why April wouldn't answer the phone. That was not in April's personality. Her mom started texting and then calling and still didn't receive an answer. Because she knew that there was a possibility that her boyfriend, Austin, was there with her, she called him. She was like, hey, Austin, are you with April right now? And he was like, no, I'm not. I'm just getting home. I was with my friends about 45 minutes away. We were moving a TV. So now that's when April's mom really starts to get worried because Austin's not with April. So it's kind of like, whoa, hold on. So now April's mom asked Austin for help to go look for April. It's around, 8 p.m. It's getting dark. She's worried like any mom would be. So she goes and she waits for Austin to come over to her house. And then they both go with Austin's friend to go look for April on the McCombs Trail. They agree to part ways to, conquer, to divide and conquer. They agree to call each other if they find anything. Probably maybe like a few minutes into trying to find April, Austin calls April's mom and tells her, hey, can you come to where I'm at? I'm a little bit further up the road on this street. I found something. And April's mom is like, okay, not really worrying, but like trying not to worry. So April's mom gets there and she finds Penny with animal control and the police. And this happens around 8:30 p.m. 10 minutes earlier, around 8:20 p.m., there was a couple walking on the trail and they found a dog that was barking. and the dog would run back and forth between the trail and then into the woods and then back into the trail and then back into the woods. You know, that thing that usually dogs do when they're trying to point you to something, like, come, look what I found. So the man started paying attention to the dog and followed the dog into the woods. So now, you know, the dog is running, trying to show him something. And now he starts looking around because he's like, hold on, what is this dog trying to show me? I'm trying to understand what you're trying to show me. So the man looks down on the floor a little bit, probably into the woods, and he sees a pair of white shoes just there in the middle of the woods.
Just shoes?
Just white shoes. Just a pair together.
Okay.
And he's kind of confused, like, okay. Then he looks into the distance towards where the dog is, and he sees what looks like a mannequin. So he starts walking towards it. And as he gets closer, he finds out it's a body. But he didn't know it was April. Nobody knew it was April until much later. Mm-hmm. So now he finds the body. He calls the police. He's like, hey, I found a body. They bring animal control to make sure Penny's secured, not going to run away. The police come. They're like, hold on. What is going on? There's only one police officer that night that was there.
I mean, of course, you only have two other teammates. So, like, yeah.
And I think this was like a weekend.
Okay.
So definitely there was only one police
How the hell
officer.
do they even divide up the shifts? All right.
You have so many questions.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Okay.
So they called state police for backup because one police officer is not going to solve the entire case.
Especially a police officer that's never seen a murder before.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So they called the state police, and the state police start looking and start seeing like what's going on. When they look at the body, they find out that that girl's body has footprints all over her, like shoe prints all over her face and her neck. And her clothes are ripped off and her pants are pulled down to her ankles. She's dead. But earlier, right before they started looking for April, Austin told April's mom that he had received a text from April saying, I almost got kidnapped, OMFG.
What?
But he had not seen that text until probably after she called, after April's mom called, because he had no service.
Because of where he was at with his friend?
Yes. Because of what he was doing. I guess he was probably in a road with no service or no cell towers around. So he didn't see the message until later.
From April that said, I almost got kidnapped.
OMFG.
Whoa.